The US men's national team attempts to qualify for the 2018 World Cup could be in jeopardy after a simply disastrous result against Guatemala, a team that they hadn't lost against since 1988, I believe. They lost 2-0 in convincing fashion for Guatemala, to be honest. The US men's national team were pretty shambolic defensively. Jurgen Klinsmann, as we know, has came under some scrutiny under his helm at the United States as of recent. And now, when asked about his thoughts on the game, I don't think he was as direct in his response as you'd expect from Klinsmann. It seemed that he threw a little bit of shade, American term, I would say, towards the players. So this is what he had to say when asked about the result. So the first thing he said is when he was asked by the press, obviously one of the questions, would you expect focus to be at its highest level at the start of the game? He responded, that's a good question for the players. And now he went on to add, for this, he's like, your question every time, no matter if you want to win or lose, you question everything that happens during the game. Then you question yourself, was this the right lineup? Was this the right substitutions? Was this the right way to approach it? Should we have done something differently and better? Absolutely, you question that. And he went on to talk about the faults in the game, but it seems like he's not as confident in his responses as you'd expect from him. But Jason, when you take into account the decision-making process was hindered by injuries. They didn't have Fabian Johnson, who I think is one of the most effective players. I would push him forward into an attacking midfielder position in the right or the left. He's scoring at will for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Say it 5 times.
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Very hard. And then they didn't have DeAndre Yedlin was considered to be played out of position. And they had some other injuries in there. Trust me, they had to adjust their lineup. But that doesn't mean shit when you lose to Guatemala. Now, Guatemala, I was impressed with how they utilized the United States' weaknesses, but their second goal was a long clearance that just found its way to one-on-one. Tim Howard must have been pulling out what was left of none of his hair, because that was the reason he continued to remain bald, was seeing his defense let up that goal. Now, the overwhelming question is, will they still qualify? Yes, because they're in a shite group with horrible teams.
You have faith.
I have faith because their games that they've lost or dropped points to has been on the road, and when you look at his history, they're relatively good at home. Yeah. But they play Guatemala again on Tuesday, tomorrow, and they should win that game at home. And if they don't, then that's where you're really going to have to question, is Klinsmann doing his job anymore? Because the one thing that has to be said about the US, for a throw to you, is they have some youthful, talented players. I was on a clip on 120 where we were talking about the system, right? And
what system?
Their system, their lineup, and it was talked about how maybe they could go with a 3-5-2. Shut your mouth! Shut your mouth! They're so bad at the back. Don't even try to make this a 3 at the back.
Why don't we do a 5-3-2?
That would be a better option. They are stronger in the midfield than they are anywhere else. Attacking, they're relying on Jose Altidore, who could not hit water from a boat 9 times out of 10. But I know you're going to say, well, what happens if it's in the port, Francis? Try to be smart. I know, I can see.
So what if you're in the fucking middle of the ocean?
And that's what I'm saying. It will struggle. But the midfield is their strongest aspect. That's where they're developing most of their players. You see Pulisic, whatever you want to say, from Dortmund player, who's 17 years of age. Throw him in there because you can tell that they're not playing to the best of their ability. But what is your thoughts as a US national fan, as a US resident? Are you encouraged?
I root for only losing franchises for the most part, so I'm used to it, okay? If you root for good teams in the Americas, or at least North America, then you probably are used to winning. But the United States soccer, or US world football, I should put it, is sometimes painful to watch. They don't have a pretty product.
No.
And it's actually causing a lot of fans, the diehard fans, which there are a decent amount out there, to potentially not buy tickets as a statement to getting rid of Klinsmann. Yeah. Because it seems like a lot of fans are fed up. Now, if the if coaches and managers listen to the media as much as we discuss the media, then God knows who would be coaching any team in any world, in any country.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Turnover would be like busboys at a restaurant.
Kind of like that already is in world football.
Right. Yeah, actually, it is pretty, in a way it is, but it's still like you get like a year. I mean, if the media had their say in it, it would be every 2 weeks. Oh, look at that, new coach in Chelsea. Oh my God, new coach for U.S. Soccer. Whoa, new coach again for U.S. Soccer. But I would say overall that, we have never been a convincing nation when it comes to soccer. We had a great 2014 World Cup. I was proud of our boys. Come on, our boys, right? I was really proud of them. And it was heartbreaking to watch them lose to Belgium because we could have won that match, I should say, and we didn't. But going forward, because there's such a break between World Cups, at least, and international play, and I know we have Copa America Centenario this year, and the only reason we're in it is because we're hosting it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we do a good showing there, but I would say I was always on the trust Jurgen Klinsmann train. Now it might have ran its course. It's actually been 3.5 years, I think, that we've hired Klinsmann, maybe 4. We need a change. Maybe it's Klinsmann. I hope to see them at least show up against the Guatemala match tomorrow.
It needs to be a convincing win.
And we need freaking development, man. I've been saying this so much. We need such better development. We need LeBron James to play. We need the LeBron James of world football. We really, really do.
And it's true. And then I did a clip on it. Check it out on Facebook on the Mini Classico when everyone was like, wow, these kids are outstanding. Yes, they are a pick
We'll take them. Can we play 12-year-olds?
You could possibly do that.
You see that kid's free kick?
Yeah, it was incredible. But that is a result of a lot of focus on development, and it happens all over the world, by the way. Trust me, in a lot of places except from the US. But the funny thing is they're not that bad of a national team. You're developing good players at the moment. That's why I like to see people.
Fortunately, we're not the worst national team in the world.
You potentially have the ability to be very good. That's a problem. Now, the one suggestion I want to make before I wrap it up is I was asked who could replace him, and there's a bunch of people that could replace him. I think Gus Hiddink would be a good replacement because
I'd be fine with Gus Hiddink. Yeah, turned around Chelsea.
He's turned around defensively. He's fixed Chelsea. He's smart defensively. He's managed numerous national teams. He managed Australia to one of their most successful realms. He managed South Korea to a semi-final in the World Cup. Remember when they hosted it?
Yeah.
It was Gus Hiddink at the helm. He was steering the ship.
Gus Hiddink would be good. Luis Enrique, Sir Alex Ferguson sound a lot better. Are they not interested in coaching the US?
I don't know what Sir Alex Ferguson is. Maybe he could. You could lure him out of retirement, but he's getting on a bit.
Put David Beck. Put Zlatan.
What about Trump? I mean, he's managed.
What about Trump?
He'd build a strong back wall. Another suggestion could be former Mexico and somewhat disgraced coach after he punched a reporter, Herrera. Do your best, Herrera face. You need some more fight in your team. But to go back to the serious point, Gus Hiddink would be number 1 choice for me.
No.
If you could take him in.
Enrique.
Okay, yeah, let's.
Pep Guardiola.
Why don't we just change the rules and we'll get Messi because one time he was in the US could be a national.
I think Jurgen Kloppsman should replace Jurgen Klinsmann.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I think Hiddink was that popular.
Jurgen swap. Jaeger swap.
I think Hiddink was that popular in South Korea. They named like a town after him. Like you go through. It's like
Goose?
Hiddingsville.
Oh. Gooseville.
I'm not sure, but it definitely had some sort of monument to him. But let us know what you think. I know there's a lot of US national fans out there. I watched the game. I was a little taken back. I mean, the more time I spend in this country, the more I realise that, okay, I've got an opportunity to root for a national team that might be able to obtain some relative success. Not abandoning Scotland, by the way. Good result for them in the friendlies. But again,
you guys won.
I know, we won a friendly game, Jason.
You won something.
It's so hard to watch England play Germany because they're all warming up.
My exact message to you, you're in New York, you can wrap it up, you can tell them where to comment, I'll find it by then.
All right,
don't worry.
Well, you can wrap it up and you can tell them where to comment in the section below. Let us know what you think of the US men's national team. What are your thoughts on Jurgen Klinsmann? Is it time for the German to go? Who would you like to see come through the other end of the revolving door? Jason, hit me with the text message.
Thursday, 2:55 p.m. Standard West Coast time. Scotland won something today.